On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere, I met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns of staring out the window at the darkness, till boredom overtook us and he began to speak. He said, "Son, I've made a life out of reading people's faces and knowing what the cards were by the way they held their eyes. So if you don't mind my saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice." So I handed him my bottle and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette and asked me for a light. And the night got deathly quiet and his face lost all expression. Said, "If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done." Every gambler knows that the secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away and knowing what to keep. 'Cause every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser, and the best that you can hope for is to die in your sleep. And when he'd finished speaking, he turned back towards the window, crushed out his cigarette and faded off to sleep. And somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even. But in his final words, I found an ace that I could keep. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done.
Lady, I'm your knight in shining armor, and I love you. You have made me what I am, and I am yours. My love, there's so many ways I want to say I love you. Let me hold you in my arms forevermore. You have gone and made me such a fool. I'm so lost in your love. Belong together. Won't you believe in my song? Lady, for so many years I thought I'd never find you. You have come into my life and made me whole. Forever, let me wake to see you each and every morning. Let me hear you whisper softly in my ear. In my eyes, I see no one else but you. There's no love like your love. And yes, oh yes, I'll always want you near me. I've waited for you for so long. Is where I want you to be. 'Cause my love, there's something I want you to know. You're the love of my life. You're my lady. Listen music in King Country. Everyone considered him the coward of the county. He'd never stood one single time to prove the county wrong. His mama named him Tommy, the folks just called him Yellow. But something always told me they were reading Tommy wrong. He was only 10 years old when his daddy died in prison. I looked after Tommy 'cause he was my brother's son. I still recall the final words my brother said to Tommy. Son, my life is over, but yours has just begun. Promise me, son, not to do the things I've done. Walk away from trouble if you can. It won't mean you're weak if you turn the other cheek. I hope you're old enough to understand. Son, you don't have to fight to be a man. There's someone for everyone, and Tommy's love was Becky. In her arms he didn't have to prove he was a man. One day while he was working, the gabbling boys came calling. They took turns at Becky, and there was 3 of them. Tommy opened up the door and saw his Becky crying. The torn dress, the shattered look was more than he could stand. He reached above the fireplace and took down his daddy's picture. As his tears fell on the floor, his daddy's words rang in his head. Promise me, son, not to do the things I've done. Walk away from trouble if you can. won't mean you're weak if you turn the other cheek. I hope you're old enough to understand. Son, you don't have to fight to be a man. The Gatlin boys just laughed at him when he walked into the barroom. One of them got up and met him halfway across the floor. When Tommy turned around, they said, "Hey, look, old Yellow's leaving." But you could have heard a pin drop, and Tommy stopped and locked the door. 20 years of crawling was bottled up inside him. He wasn't holding nothing back, he let him hang it all. When Tommy left the barroom, not a Gatlin boy was standing. He said, "This one's for Becky," as he watched the last one fall. And I heard him say, "I promised you, Dad, not to do the things you've done. I walk away from trouble when I can. Now please don't think I'm weak, I didn't turn the other cheek. And Papa, I sure hope you understand. Sometimes you gotta fight when you're a man." Everyone considered him the coward of the county.
Remember when I was young and so were you, and time stood still, and love was all we knew. You were the first, so was I. We made love and then you cried. Remember when? Remember when we vowed the vows and walked the walk, gave our hearts, made the start. It was hard. We lived and learned life through curves. There was joy, there was hurt. Remember when? Remember when old ones died and new were born, and life was changed, disassembled, rearranged. We came together, fell apart, and broke each other's hearts. Remember when? Remember when the sound of little feet was the music we danced to week, brought back the love we found, trust, vowed we'd never give it up. Remember when? Remember when 30 seems so old now, looking back. It's just a stepping stone to where we are, where we've been. Said we'd do it all again. Remember when?
Remember when we said when we turn gray, when the children grow up and move away, we won't be sad, we'll be glad for all the life we've had. And we'll remember when, remember when, remember when. People without a thing say some vows and spread their wings and settle down with just what they need, living on love. She don't care about what's in style, she just likes the way he smiles. It takes more than marble and tile, living on love. Living on love, buying on time. Without somebody, nothing ain't worth a dime. Just like an old-fashioned storybook rhyme, living on love. It sounds simple, that's what you're thinking, but love can walk through fire without blinking. It doesn't take much when you get enough, living on love. Without a thing, children gone, but still they sing, side by side in that front porch swing, living on love. He can't see anymore, she can barely sweep the floor. Hand in hand they'll walk through that door, just living on love. Living on love, buying on time. Without somebody, nothing ain't worth a dime. Just like an old-fashioned storybook rhyme, living on love. It sounds simple, that's what you're thinking, but love can walk through fire without blinking. Doesn't take much when you get enough, living on love. No, it doesn't take much when you get enough, living on love. Talking about forever, both know too well it's not easy together. sunshine over the rain, and I'll try to love only you, and I'll try my best to be true. Oh, darling, I'll try. I'm not scared. It's worth a chance to me. Take my hand, let's face eternity. Well, I can't tell you that I'll never change, but I can swear in every way I'll try to love only you, and I'll try my best to be true. Oh, darling, I'll try. Not perfect, just another man, but I will give you all that I am, and I'll try to love only you, and I'll try my best to be true. Oh, darling, I'll try. I'll try to be true to you. I'll try. I'll try to always love you. I'll try. bought that truck from Mr. Diller, 3 dents in the passenger door. Said his boy once drove it to Denver and turned right back at the state line border. Coffee stains on the cloth seat, a Polaroid under the mat, some red dirt trapped in the floorboard like it carried every mile on its back. There's dust on the dashboard, name scratched into the paint. Every scratch, every stain, got a memory you can't fake. I ain't rich, I ain't famous, but I'm richer than I was before. 'Cause my life's in this old Chevy, and the stories in the dust on the dashboard. Met her pouring beer at the Legion, Friday paychecks and neon glow. She laughed at the hole in my t-shirt, said, boy, you ever think of letting it go? We danced out back in the gravel to a song the jukebox ate. That night her hair filled my rear view when she left home and climbed in my fate. There's dust on the dashboard, name scratched into the paint. Every scratch, every stain, got a memory you can't fake. I ain't rich, I ain't famous, but I'm richer than I was before. 'Cause my life's in this old Chevy, and the stories in the dust on the dashboard. Our boy home from the hospital, tiny hand wrapped around my thumb. Drove 40 in a 70, like the world might come undone. Now there's crayon on the back glass, tiny boots by the door, and a car seat where her suitcase used to slide across the floor. There's dust on the dashboard, name scratched into the paint. Every scratch, every stain, got a memory you can't fake. I ain't rich, I ain't famous, but I'm richer than I was before. 'Cause my heart's in this old Chevy, yeah, my whole life's riding shotgun, and the stories in the dust on the dashboard. Boots by the door still lean to the right. Same old hat on the same old nail. Coffee ring dosed on the counter tile. Truck keys sleep in a rusted pail. Mama keeps talking like he might walk in. Wipes that table till the wood turns pale. Says the road just called him like it always did, but the mailbox fills with unset mail. There's dust on the welcome mat where his footsteps used to land. Two grooves in that porch swing where he held this shaky hand. We got pictures in crooked frames and a Bible he left half read. Yeah, this whole house keeps remembering what Daddy tried to forget. Got a note in a drawer, 3 lines, no date. Had to chase something bigger than this. Just spelled goodbye like he never learned how. Smelled like gasoline and guilt on the wind. I turned 18 with a paper cake, Walmart candles, crooked wish. Swore I'd never leave the way he did. The long tank slow and the road still twists. There's dust on the welcome mat where his footsteps used to land. 2 grooves in that porch swing where he held this shaky hand. We got pictures in crooked frames and a Bible he left half read. Yeah, this whole house keeps remembering, but Daddy tried to forget. Sometimes I drive past that county line, knuckles white on the steering wheel. Wonder if he's out there hiding his name, or if he's finally learned how sorry feels. There's dust on the welcome mat where his footsteps used to land. 2 grooves in that porch swing where he held this shaky hand. Now my suitcase leans by the bedroom door with a list of words unsaid. I pray my kid won't grow up living what Daddy tried to forget. So I sweep off that welcome mat. Beneath the porch might burn and late. If he ever finds his way back home, we got room for his regret.